Hi, and welcome back to Cool Beans here in West Sayville. I'm your host here at Talking Shop in the Shop. My name is Frank Gucciardo. I'm the executive director at orderplans.com, which is a division of PKAD Architecture and Design. And this episode, we've got a very special episode. We actually have the owner of Cool Beans here with us today, Patrick Brennan.
Yes.
And you're the owner, the proprietor. You're a young guy, and which is exciting to see entrepreneurs. We have some segments here. We have a chief financial officer, and although this is our thrust here is talking to real estate transactions, we got a lot of young business owners, right? We got a lot of entrepreneurs, young guys that are out hustling and selling houses. And
Yep, I love to see it.
Yeah. So I thought it would be, really interesting to kind of hear your story about, how did Cool Beans come into existence? Maybe talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, definitely. So it turns out that I became a contractor in 2013.
Okay.
And me and my father had started a construction business together. So then over the past 8 years or so, I have definitely got a lot of knowledge on construction and, dealing with a lot of homes over the time.
Sure.
And first we started off just doing roofing.
Right.
And then after roofing, we just got into like almost everything,
Sure.
Roofing, siding, windows, kitchens, bathrooms, all that kind of stuff. So after about 8 years, right, total, we started working for investors that bought and sell houses, and then we were.
So the investors, they're flipping a house, and they would
Yes.
call your dad.
Yep.
And yourself in, and then you would be doing the work on the wholesale side.
We would increase the value of the houses. We would do the construction work. We would perfect everything to the touch.
Right.
And then they would buy and sell the houses, and then they would definitely get us back on more jobs,
right,
because after they sold one house, they would buy another one.
Sure.
So then we got very encouraged to save up enough money to get our own houses.
Right.
Right. So then I guess my first flip house with my father was in 2018. We barely saved up enough money just to get the property.
Yeah.
Had to borrow money from some friends, family.
Sure.
It was really rough. And the first flip house, we really didn't make that much money.
Right.
Because it was like our first time ever flipping a house. We realized how difficult it was, how expensive the materials were. And
what were some of the difficulties?
Difficulties could be whether if there's like certain issues with the house, if there's like CO issues, or if there's open permit issues.
Always the case, right?
Stuff like that,
Sure.
Yes, because when you buy a house, you're buying it as is 90% of the time.
Right.
And there's always a lot of secret, hidden things that you got to watch out for.
So you should assume that there's a wart on this.
Yeah. That's why you definitely got to hire a lawyer. We
Yep.
use our lawyer, Mike Mara. He does all our closings for
Yeah.
us, and he makes sure that there's no issues with the CO or issues with open permits or
Sure.
anything like that.
Sure.
And there's a lot of properties you're not allowed to go and look at it, like foreclosures or something like that. You're not allowed to assess the damage as a contractor or as a real estate agent even. So there's a lot of hidden things that you'll find out. Yes. So it is a little risky. However, being the contractor, we were able to save the money on the cost of the labor and a lot of cost of like construction. So we did it ourselves, and we realized how tough it was.
Right.
And then it really is all about your connections. You know what I mean? Because if you have the wrong real estate agent and stuff, and you lose your shirt on the property, it's gonna hurt. You know what I mean?
So having the right agent,
yes,
is important.
Yes, definitely.
What
having
were
the
you
right
looking
agent.
for in a good agent?
Well, we had first hired this guy named Carlos for our first house, and he had flipped a lot of houses, but for people, for customers and investors. But he was selling the houses for his own family that were investing for it. So he treated his family a lot better than he did his investors, So then what I really like about a real estate agent is our guy, Okar Reinstein,
Okar is the best.
He just really goes above and beyond for his investors, his friends, his family, for everybody. He treats the same, and he assesses.
He's a genuine man.
He's a genius.
Yeah.
He knows how to really sell the properties, and he sees what the customers and what the buyers want.
Yeah.
You know, and he knows how to assess houses just by his own knowledge.
How'd you meet him?
I actually met Okar Reinstein from a barber. I have a barber.
You're a barber?
I have a barber that comes to my house and cuts my hair.
Come on.
So you know, I don't have to go to places.
And he said, "Meet this. You got to meet my guy."
Okar Reinstein was one of my barber's clients,
Come on.
and next thing you know, my barber's like, "Yo, I got this cool agent, man. You guys are about to make some serious money together." I'm like, "Seriously? All right, cool. We've been looking for a new agent that really cares about their customers." You know, we were really had a bad taste in our mouth from our past experience.
Yeah.
Yes. But man,
So Okar's a cut above.
Okar was a step above everybody,
Yeah.
Our first flip house that we had bought, that Okar had sold, and he also found us this flip house, was our first flip house was in Mastic, and he got the property for like a steal for us. We had gotten the property for like $160,000, and after we had done flipping it and getting it all ready, he sold it for $365,000 in Mastic, and it was just the
By
most.
Okar, a big stake.
We went from making no profits on the flip houses to very large profits
Because
on the flip houses.
The money was made on the purchase.
Okar just found the right clients. He advertised for near the city, the Queens, all that area. He had gotten traffic from too as well. And these people said, "Hey, we want to move from Queens, and we're looking for a nice house out here."
Sure.
Okar's like, "I got the perfect one for you. It's getting custom built for you right
that's
now."
Great. And so then you and your dad are working side by side.
Yep.
Cleaning the place up, adding value.
Yep.
And then exchanging that value for profit.
Yes, and making the neighborhoods beautiful.
That's
you
great.
know, really helping clean the neighborhoods out too.
So you had a good experience. You found a good attorney. You found a good agent.
Absolutely.
You were handling the build side, so you were able to navigate your and control your costs there.
Absolutely.
And then what else led to the success?
It's just so cool because like the right connections really helped a lot.
Right.
And Okar really went above and beyond. Now I have sold 8 houses with Okar.
You've done 8 deals with Okar.
I have sold 8 houses already.
That's great.
And now we have another 2 right now coming up. So that'll be almost 10 houses that I've done.
10 houses.
So then I had saved up enough money and I had started Cool Beans Coffee Shop.
Oh, so that was the seed to purchase this.
So the first seed ever really was becoming a licensed contractor and doing construction with my father. Then we were working for investors. We got sick and tired of it. We were like, you know what? We're going to start flipping our own houses.
Yeah.
The wrong connections led to like a bad experience at first. And then once we had gotten Okar and Mike on our team, we just like absolutely blew up with them, and it's just been an amazing run so far.
That's great.
Yep, 8 houses sold by the man Okar Reinstein.
Yeah, and then so you took your seed money and then you invested it into Cool Beans.
Yes, into a Cool Beans coffee shop.
Wow.
And we've been here for 2 years
That's
already.
a big departure from turning and flip to selling a product and a service.
I seen that the coffee shop industry was very profitable. You know, it costs like pennies on a dollar to make a coffee that you're selling for $7 to $8. So we fell in love with the profitability of the coffee shops, and also the food industry is a very good industry, you know, and a lot of people are saying, hey, a lot of businesses during COVID went bankrupted, but the businesses that survived were food businesses, you know. Laundromat, food business, construction, all those industries stayed alive.
Right.
Especially houses, you know, people want to buy and sell their houses, or they want to move to Long Island because it's such a desirable area.
Right.
You know, so I've been at Cool Beans. I've owned the store for about almost 3 years.
Right.
Almost 3 years.
Almost
now.
3 years. So education is paid for, whether it's to an institution or, and in my case, and it sounds like in your case, the School of Hard Knocks has its own degree.
Right.
And it's very expensive.
Definitely.
So what have you learned here? What have you learned in 3 years? What have you learned about, small business ownership in the food industry? What have you learned?
Well, first I learned that you don't need a master's degree to become a successful person. You
Okay.
know, that's one thing. What everybody really needs is like motivation. They need to be dedicated, and you need to have the right connections, and you just have to never give up. Never give up.
Perseverance, dedication, good networking,
Yep.
the right professionals around you.
And just really have the guts
You gotta have
to
some.
just go for your dreams and just keep fighting. You know, a lot of the people, they just give up, they get scared, or they're just, I don't like this no more. So the whole idea is to have consistency. So, I've just want everybody to know that I've learned the hard way that if you have dedication and the heart to keep going, you could become what you want to be.
That's great. I think that's great. And so, but I'm listening to you. So, I mean, you're like a younger guy, right? I mean, you've got all
Yeah.
your hair, right? I'm
29.
I'm starting to miss my stuff out, right? So but you said you got your start with your dad.
Yes, started with my dad with the construction, and that was definitely the most profitability kind of job that I could ever have started. And I love the construction industry. And my father taught me everything.
He taught you everything.
Like we had the best father and son relationship growing up, and it went from either we're skiing together or we're on the beach or we're on the roofs together.
And so you're living life and you're working and you're being mentored.
Yes,
by
father.
your father.
Yes.
And talk about maybe the value of mentorship.
Oh my gosh, it's almost as valuable as having the connections to get to where you have to be in life. You know what I mean? My father taught me the knowledge, and we worked side by side together, blood, sweat, and tears together.
Yeah.
And it really helped humble me as a person, because you got to really appreciate the value of your family and, the value of good friendships and good relationships. You know what I mean?
Sure. So let's talk maybe about the mentor bit, right? Because I drill into my kids.
Right.
From the minute they could really understand me. It is one of the great secrets in life, is having a mentor that loves you.
Right.
And has your interests at hand. And
That's
I tell
true.
them,
Yes.
I'll always be your mentor. But someday you're going to find somebody that maybe isn't me. And you have to know, where, because, maybe I'm not going to be here. Maybe, you got to find someone along the road, and I've got business mentors, and, my father's passed, but, and you're very fortunate to have a great relationship
Thank you.
with
Yes,
your dad.
I'm sorry to hear about
Yeah.
your father.
Life is what it is, but I have other mentors in life and actively sought them out because I don't want to have to learn this for myself. If I could short circuit the learning cycle,
Yes.
Talk about that.
Right. It's like if only we knew what we knew now back then, we could have been so much further in life, right? But what I really appreciate is how my father really taught me. At first, he taught me in a nice way how to go from spoiled to unspoiled, I'm sorry. Because, growing up as a kid, if you have a really amazing family, they're going to spoil you a little bit, and you're going to grow up in life just thinking that you don't have to work hard for it. But in reality, my father taught me that's not the truth. The truth is if we're not out working hard, then we're not going to put food on the table. We're not going to be able to pay the bills. So in life, he says, if you're not going to have a master's degree or an education in school, then you have to go out and you have to make money and provide for your family.
That's right. That's right.
So my father had taught me the values of workmanship
Being a
and
responsible man.
and having a great mentor by your side.
Sure, right.
I learned a lot from him, and I thank God for him. But like you said, what happens when they're not around no more? And so I have to take the knowledge that I have now and stick to it. I have to perfect it, and I have to just stay strong the whole time.
That's right.
And that was really difficult for me to learn. But my father kept me humble, and now we make a crazy amount of dollars together, and it's like a dream come true, flipping houses with your old man. You know what I mean?
Very cool. You're very fortunate because that's not the norm.
It's not, no.
It's not the norm.
No, definitely
So your father
not.
taught, and I teach my sons, it's the measure of a man is his acceptance of responsibility.
Yes.
And to what level you accept responsibility. So these things coming out of your mouth right now this is what a strong society comes from.
Right.
Is a man accepting responsibility.
And I, as a business owner myself, I could really understand the our elders' generation on how they're saying that a lot of young people nowadays, they're just spoiled and they just don't have the motivation to really go out there and get it,
Sure.
But like I said, it all starts with good friendship, good family, good relationships. It starts with having motivation and dedication, first of all, you know what I
Right.
mean? And also having the right connections and the right people by your side. That has been crucial to my success. You know what I mean?
Networking, mentorship, hustle, and
Yep.
guts. And guts.
Guts and connections. I feel like without Okar Reinstein and Mike McNamara at our backs, we would have struggled.
Yeah, Mike.
You know what I mean?
Mike's a sharp guy. We had him on the.
He's a great
Yeah,
guy,
we had
man.
Mike on the podcast here a few episodes ago, and
They definitely make sure that we're well taken care of, and having the right connections is really everything in life.
That's right.
That's what I really appreciate.
There's a big part of that.
I
Correct.
really appreciate their skills and the way that they get things done.
Yeah.
And me and my father, we do our part and we get the construction done to the T, just like it's supposed to be. And we rely on our team to help us get to where we want to get.
That's great. That's great. So 3 years here at this location.
Yes.
What's in the future for Cool Beans?
Well, I realized the hard way that location is really everything in a food business. And,
So that's a take home. If you're in the business,
yes, if you're in the food industry, you have to have a good location with a lot of foot traffic and just a lot of conveniency. So if you're in a convenient part of a town where there's a lot of people, they just want to shop and stay in that part of the town, that is a great location to be. But if you're off of a side street, off of main highways, and you're hidden, it is very hard to make it as a food industry.
so you can have the
business.
best product,
You could have the best product.
price, bad location, you're cooked.
Bad location was crucial and that will really hurt. So I've learned the hard way that yes, if certain areas are more expensive for the rent, it's worth it, because if you're pulling in $2,000 to $3,000 in sales per day off of coffee and just pastry foods,
Sure.
that is an incredible growth.
Margin,
You could
good
do
margin there.
a lot of good with that in a business.
Right.
The bills will be paid. You could afford workers. You could afford taxes.
Right.
And most importantly is you can afford materials to
Sure.
sell to people.
Sure.
And if you don't have the traffic, the food goes bad and the money goes down the drain.
Right.
And then it gets very difficult to survive as a business.
Yeah, right.
Labor is very expensive alone.
Sure.
No matter what business you're in,
Of
you know
course,
what I mean?
of course.
Because everybody needs to get paid the minimum at
Sure.
least.
Sure.
And I've learned the hard way that, location is everything.
Location's everything. And maybe from a standpoint of saying what you just said, what I heard was that if your expenses are higher, but the location is right, it's not the absolute dollar, right? So as a principle in business is that you have to prime the well with some funds up front.
Right.
And, again, right location, right product, right price. The margin, the difference between what you keep and what you created at, right, is what you're after.
Right.
Right.
So that's what you would want. That's what you would wish. That's what you would hope would happen. But the wrong location could just make that money go down the drain.
Oh, Ben.
So having the right location is very crucial.
And being an entrepreneur is no picnic.
It's really rough, because you could watch what you've worked for your whole life just go down the drain.
That's
and
right.
That's not what you want as an
Not everybody
entrepreneur.
has a stomach for it.
And you know what? Sometimes you have to get out while you can, sometimes you have to evaluate the situation and think to yourself, what could I change? How am I going to bring the people in?
Yeah.
You can be strong. You have to be strong, really, in order to make it. Some factors could factor in, like bad economy, or you know,
sure,
people
of
have
course.
less money to spend as a consumer. That makes sense. However, the location is really everything.
Location is everything. Got it. Okay.
Yep.
So if you had to, you know, talk to the young realtor getting a start out here, right? Okar, right? We've really kind of talked Okar up, and we both know him, and he's a good man. But you know, he was a young guy once too.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So if you had to talk to some of the young guys that are getting a start and they want to be an entrepreneur, they want to work for themselves.
Right.
What would you tell them? What nugget of advice? You know, you're a young guy, but you have some experience. You have a mentor.
Right.
Right. You've made some money. You've made some mistakes. You've learned from them, and here you are. What would you tell that guy that's maybe on the fence of becoming an entrepreneur, or maybe they're kind of have 1 foot in part-time,
Right.
1 foot out, you know, should they go full-time? What would you tell them?
I would tell them that when you first start off and you start from fresh, you have to go really aggressive, in my opinion. You have to just keep your chips on the table and just keep going as if you're playing another round. Meaning you have to keep the motivation, you have to keep the drive, and I would definitely master the fact of just hustling and keeping the pace, like just never give up. Always believe in yourself. Even as a young real estate agent and you have no experience, or this is the first time you've ever worked there, it's really hard. You have to go out and meet people. You have to also apply yourself. You have to whether if you're a food business or a real estate agent, you have to let people know what are the values of, whether if it's selling your house or buying a new house, what are the values? Why would I do this? Oh, maybe the interest rates are a little cheaper this year. You could get a better deal. Or maybe I could get you X amount of dollars on your house. You have to apply yourself. And if people don't know who you are, they're not gonna go with you.
Would you then, you know, back on the vein of what we were saying earlier, would you suggest to maybe a younger, or maybe not younger in years, or less experienced, seeking out maybe a more experienced broker, agent that
that's
maybe
a good
they
idea
to find a mentor?
Very good idea. See, like that's also another part where we talked about good connections. You know what I mean, and having the right team at your back. So if I was a person that had no experience as a real estate agent, and you found the right broker, they might train you. They might teach you how to, you know, get all the connections you need and show you the tools that you need to become a successful real estate agent. And you never know, they could also hook you up with the right people. You never know. Some real estate agents might be so busy that, oh, here, I got clients for you, or I got a listing for you. You deal with it for me. And that's another part of having good connections. But you have to apply yourself. You have to let people know who you are. You have to be friendly. You have to have the right connections.
And so I think that the you know, if we had to go at a very broad stroke, 30,000 feet up, the application of having a mentor, hustling, and having guts trickles down across any industry.
Oh yes.
Any industry.
For sure. For sure. It's all about applying yourself. It's all about just like having the drive, you know?
That's right.
And that's really hard to teach the younger generation, especially because, you know, it's very easy to give up. You know, it's very easy to, oh, wow, this ain't for me, or, that's what I've realized, that a lot of people give up. And you really need to have, like you said, the
fortitude.
guts.
Yeah, the fortitude, sure.
It's all about the guts, you know, and working hard.
So you think that you may change locations?
I'm definitely considering. I'm considering getting to a better location for Cool Beans. This way, I could, you know, at least get that off its feet. You know.
Gotcha.
And who knows?
And
what
you think
would
you want to stay maybe here in the Sable region, or?
If it's possible.
If it's possible.
But if it's not
possible.
We
got a lot of agents watching. Maybe they, you know, be bird dogging for you, or maybe, you know, Okar, if you're listening, brother, he might need a new location.
Oh, I definitely want a new location.
Yeah. So, you know, we're gonna have all our contact information down below, and
awesome, man.
Yeah, and it's great. So Patrick, listen, I think this was a really great conversation, and I hope that you know, the folks listening maybe glean something from it. You know, have guts, persevere, find a mentor, stay
That's
after
right.
it, right?
That's right.
All right.
That's right, Mr.
Hey, man,
Frank.
thanks so much.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
I really appreciate it.
All
guys.
right,
Thank
thanks.
you.